Seven Deadly Sins, Episode 9 review. Really, really good episode, just like Episode 8, probably even better. Where to begin? The episode starts off with King fighting Guila, and she is getting overwhelmed by King's spear. He is controlling it, kind of like if you ever watched. Well, no, even like in DBZ, Frieza would be like, like all crazy things. King is just like this. He's like, and nonchalantly, like with that subtle movement, he's making the spear zip across, like at speeds that Gila can't keep up with. Like she got cut across the face in a shocking moment. The spear was spinning like a buzzsaw going after her, and just consistently she tries to make like these giant fireballs, and we see that the explosion power seems to originate from her sword because it's like or at the very least she put it through the sword in this episode, because you see like all these explosion little balls of fire come out, and she makes them big and she throws them all at King, and then he turns his one spear into like 100 spears or whatever he does, and just like matches all the explosions with his spears, and it's really cool. And she's pretty much overwhelmed. She can't do nothing about it, and then she tries to get in behind King, but Meliodas blocks her with full counter. And apparently, according to King, I believe King's one to say it, the force of the full counter sent Gila back to the world of the living. And also, the world of the dead is starting to reject everybody else because they're alive. So they're like, you know, I think I don't know if Elaine says something to them. I don't think she does, but Elaine is kind of like narrating, I think, to the viewers about like what was going on. Like like King becomes even more powerful when he's protecting others, when he has others to fight for. So that was really cool. They go back to the world of the living, and they see Gila there with her, knife edge, like like her hand, like pointing to her chest or whatever, and they say she's half dead and that she half killed herself to get in there. So I don't know how that works, but okay. And they tie her to a tree and they like write stuff on her face, like they make her look stupid. So that was kind of funny. And even though King was like, I'll petrify her, and Ben was like, I'll kill her, for one reason or another, Meliodas decided to tie her to a tree and write in her face. So smart, probably not, especially what we see at the very end of the episode. But yeah, and I think those two kids, I think they're dead. The kids that, because they were in the world of the dead. In the previous episode, it looked like Gilla didn't kill them. It looked like that she just stabbed herself, but maybe somehow they died. I don't know. I was confused with that. If that makes sense to anybody, let me know in the comments, because they were in the world of the dead, and they looked like they died, but in the previous episode they weren't dead. So I'm confused. Uh, Next thing we see is new Holy Knights working with Gilthunder. They're taking out this like group of bandits or whatever, or this, not really bandits. They're like this like tribal, like kind of like wild kind of tribe. Uh, you know, I don't really know how else to explain it, but like that. Like if you think of like Fist of the North Star, if you watch the show with the wolf tribal like clan or whatever, that's kind of like what they were. And they just obliterate them with lightning, and this other guy now has the ability to use wind. And so Elizabeth was like, oh wow, you're so strong, King, that you, because it was 3 7 deadly sins against Gila, and King is like, no, if they used their real power, if they had their sacred treasures, that wouldn't even be a remote issue. And Diane says she lost hers. Meliodas says he sold his so he can get money to make the bar, and Bond says it was taken from him when he was captured. So we had like a funny moment about that. King showed a lake, and he said like with you know picture having this vast amount of power, and all you can do is use your hand to put it in the you can just scoop it up with your hand. But he's like with the sacred treasure, and he uses his power, and he makes the whole lake like pretty much like rise up in the air like a funnel, going up, and it's like that's what you can grab when you use a sacred treasure. And it's like, whoa, that's such a great analogy. And so now they're on a journey to get the sacred treasures back, and wow, lo and behold, they found the first place to go where the sacred treasure is, because they checked this place out, and Diane's hammer, this giant hammer, is apparently the prize for winning this fight. And before I go further into that, they showed Gilthunder and this new knight guy. I forget his name. I can see if I can check. And he basically he and Gilthunder were there, and they were talking. Well, they were like in a group assembled of all the holy knights, and they were listening to this holy knight called Dreyfus. And Dreyfus and Henderson were like next to each other, two like great holy knights, and they're like telling everybody to prepare for the war. They say the king was, he foresaw that the war was coming, but he chose to put his weapons down, and he was a fool, and now they are going to, basically correct that. So it was really cool, like, not cool, but, it was really interesting to see that the holy knights are all basically, gung-ho for going against the king, like all of them, pretty much, or they think they're doing it for the right reasons, apparently. The reasons that, like they need to fight this holy war that the king was not going to fight it. And so then the two knights get called to talk with Dreyfus, and it's obvious, it's Gilthunder and the guy that was with him, Hauser, and they get called to talk to Dreyfus, and Dreyfus tells them that Meliodas destroyed an entire kingdom by himself in the past. So Meliodas is a particular concern, with the sacred treasure. He's a particular concern that they have to, be wary of. And that was kind of a shocker, and, but they don't, but he says he doesn't know who the war will be against, Dreyfus says. And Hauser leaves to go do his own personal thing, and it looks like Hauser wants to enter into this tournament just for fun, like he's always wanted to do it, but he can't because of his job. So now it looks like he'll be fighting the 7 deadly sins as like a sport kind of thing, but I don't know if he realizes there's 7 deadly sins. I don't think he does. And we'll see who wins the hammer for Diane. And then they also show probably the best, craziest part at the end. The demon that destroyed the fairy forests was found by Henderson, and he's been giving its blood to to apprentice knights, and they've become stronger than regular holy knights, and these holy knights are known as the new generation. And they bring Jericho, and they bring the first guy that fought Meliodas, the guy that always says confirmed, and he cuts the demon and he drains its blood into cups and he makes them drink it. And Jericho is the only one that survives, and the other guy says, confirmed, I feel like I can make things explode, and then he explodes. But Jericho is the only one that survives, and her eyes look a little different now, like a little, she's kind of in shock, but she's also got these like red beady eyes. So, and Gil is like, welcome to our side. So this screams evil. There is evil within the Holy Knights. The Holy Knight Hendrickson is turning good apprentice knights into these evil holy knights. And what does this mean? I don't know. I mean, I kind of do, but like, it's exciting to see like where the story goes. So for this episode, the story is take a big turn in the right direction. We've got we got the mastermind here, this Henderson guy. He's clearly the mastermind. We've got this evil agenda. We got this demon clan thing from the supposedly supposed to be sealed away is now apparently reviving in the modern world or something, So it's like, wow. And then we have all the 7 deadly sins now on a quest to, well, the 4 of them on the quest to get their sacred treasures back. King doesn't need his, he's got his. And, that means they get more power. We've got this crazy knight Guila and all these other knights that are evil. Is Gilthunder one of these evil new knights? I don't think so, because he was talking to Dreyfus and kind of about Hendrickson, like telling Dreyfus on the down low what he thinks Henderson is doing. So it seems like there might be factions between the knights, like the old holy knights who are suspicious of these new knights who are apparently involved with Henderson. So yeah, looks to be really awesome. I'm giving this episode a 10. I love the episode. I don't have any problems with it. Action with, Guila and King fighting, and some comedy moments or whatever with Meliodas and Elizabeth, and all this great story, and just everything's going really well. So really enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, or anything else you want to talk about. Please like the video if you enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. Thank you, and have a good night.